All right, welcome everyone. So my name's Tyler Watson. First off, a quick question. How many in here know that you could be further ahead, whether in your business or in a relationship or with some sort of health piece? By show of hand. Yeah. How many have clients or people you work with that struggle implementing what you tell them to do? Anybody have that? Where like you give them the plan, but they don't implement it. And why doesn't that happen? It happens because of resistance. And today I'm going to talk about resistance, but how to overcome it within minutes instead of years. I'm also going to interact a lot more with this room. So I'm going to have you interact with each other. This is going to be not the same style you're used to, where we're just sitting and information's coming at us. After going through probably about, over the past 10 years, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, little over 300 events, I'd say I found some things that were missing. And one is that some events, they just teach information. And at a given moment, if you're getting information, you're only going to retain about 10 to 5% of what you hear because it's so much information. And with AI, more information's happening at a faster pace. So instead of just giving you information, I want to have that information become applicable so that you can use it and get a result. Is that cool?
Yes.
Yeah? By show of hand? Okay. So that means I'm going to have you do things, I'm going to have you interact. It's going to feel a little goofy, a little different, but just do it because it's a lot more powerful to retain the information. And when information's applied, it becomes a transformation. And that's what we're here today about. Sound cool?
Yep.
Okay, with that, turn to somebody, give them a high five, and say, thanks for coming today. Awesome. Turn to somebody behind you or in front of you, give them a high five, say, I'm so glad you're next to me. Awesome. All right, I'm used to speaking in front of like 4,000 people where everybody's next to each other. So we're just going to pretend there's 4,000 people in the room, and we're going to interact and have a good time. How do I do my slides? Do I just... On here? Click? Oh, a little clicker? Oh, is that the clicker? Okay, cool. I actually never use slides, so this is going to be fun.
There you go.
Green button goes forward. All right. Have you ever felt like change is taking too long? Have you ever thought, why am I still stuck struggling with this same thing, or why is it so hard to change? These are questions that I deal with every single day. And I want to teach you the top 3 ways self-sabotage stops you from growing your ideal life or your business. One of the key things, a little context for me. Well, let's dive into this. So, three main patterns that I want to go over are imposter syndrome, obsessed with your business and sacrificing relationships. Anyone know anybody who's so obsessed with their business they can't think of anything else and they neglect their relationships or their health? Anybody know somebody like that? Anybody that person? Sometimes, yeah, it's just the word does. Okay, good. And then the third is unable to rejuvenate and be innovative. If we're not able to be present in the moments and receive ideas and apply them, then we will spin in circles year after year after year, struggling, wondering, man, I feel like I should be further ahead. Well, it's because we're putting so much energy into trying to hold on to what's working, and we need to be okay with the resistance, letting go of that so that we can embrace a higher path, which many of you are already crushing it in your businesses. But what if there was a faster, more effective way to do it? What if you could double or triple your income without all of the struggle behind it? You see, most people think that, oh, if I've made my $1 million or my $1 billion, then if I have to double that, I'm not only doubling the good stuff, but I'm also doubling all the stress, the overwhelm, feeling burnt out, the chaos. But it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, by the time we're done today, I'm going to teach you a technique you can use on yourself as well as on others, and some of you have experienced it from my booths and stuff, that can completely alter how you see life and how you get results. Is that cool? Yes. Yeah? Okay, if so, give me a yes. Yes. All right, we're awake. I know it's like right after lunch. So do this for me. Go ahead and everybody just stand up real fast. Go ahead and stand up, stand up, stand up. All right, we're going to shake it off because I know you guys just ate and listening to awesome stuff, but we need to wake it up. So go ahead and shake it off for a minute. Take a deep breath. Feel your body come alive. That way, how you listen to something is how you're going to apply it. So this is a thing I learned years ago. If I'm in a really low state and I'm taking on information, I'm going to go apply it in a what? In a low state. But if I receive information in an excited, passionate state, then I'm going to apply it how? Excited and passionate, right? So we want to apply that because as you do so, your team will do the same. They will follow how you lead. And as a leader, it is critical that I go first. Make sense? Okay, go ahead and have a seat. Give yourselves a big round of applause for having energy. All right. And with that, we will continue. Boom. So it's not just a mindset or a skill set. Many of us think that I just have to change my mind to get the result. I just got to focus, right? How many know that philosophy where it's, okay, it's just me. I got to change my mindset, got to focus more, be more productive. I've been doing things for about 10 years now as a coach. I work with 9-figure entrepreneurs, world champion athletes, top 1% leaders, go all around the world, met people like Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Ted McGrath, all sorts of fun stuff, traveling, speaking in front of thousands of people, helping them implement what I'm about to teach you. If you do this, and it's going to sound a little crazy, it might counter what you believe, but I'm going to invite you to be open. What am I inviting you to do? Be open. Be open to a new way of thinking and, more importantly, a new way of applying this. That way you can get faster results. Sound good? You guys, everybody down to be open today? Yeah, we got 5. Anybody else down? Yeah? Okay. I'm all about like interactions. If you guys aren't raising your hand, I'm going to be like, wait, you there over there, go get that person, make sure they're awake. Let's do this, okay? So I've invested over $1 million in my personal development. I've been through over 600 different modalities from hypnotherapy, EFT, tapping, past life regression, body code, NLP, you name it. So many different processes that are good, but missing something critical. And this is affecting these 3 things here: imposter syndrome, obsessive business, unable to rejuvenate. Most think it's mindset, but I'm going to teach you that these 3 problems are actually symptoms of fight-flight responses in the body. Pushes and pulls. Okay, what does that mean? It means if I'm in a state where I have resistance, something's not ideal, then I am in a triggered response, which is actually a fight or a flight. Most people's philosophy is push through it, right? How many have been taught that, where you just buckle down, grind it, those who grind it, you'll make it on top. That's what's taught. And it sucks. I watched my mom go through 6 divorces because of that philosophy. I watched my dad go through 3. I, myself, went through depression, suicidal tendencies, addicted to pornography, to video games, and suffered for years because I just thought I had to buckle down and grit through it and stuff everything. And I believe that is a faulty philosophy. I believe we need to stop supporting that way of thinking because I truly believe every single human being on this planet deserves to have it all. I believe it. I believe God put us on this planet to have everything we want. Yeah, that's a good thing to clap for. I agree. And I don't think we're here to burn ourselves out, to sacrifice everything for the greater good or for the goal. I don't believe that at all because I thought that used to be the way. And I didn't realize my body was addicted to that, which drove me to become class president, MVP, getting all straight A's, doing so much in college and all these things, only at the end of the day to sit on my end of the bed and wonder how I could kill myself and wonder if anybody would ever know. We don't have to sacrifice the things that are sacred to you for something that is a vision of yours. How many have a powerful vision, something you know you're working toward? Yeah, look around the room, every single one. How many know it's going to take some form of sacrifice to do that, though? Like work, energy, and effort. Yeah. But what if you didn't have to sacrifice the things that mattered the most to do it? What if the thing you needed to sacrifice was your own fight-flight responses? Sacrifice the resistance, the things that you're thinking you have to get rid of. Instead of saying, hey, I got to not spend time with my family, say, what if I choose to spend time with my family, which will make me 10 times more productive? What if I can be present in the moment with my kids, and because of that, I'm going to 10x my business? What if every time I talk with a client, I pinpoint exactly what they need, and I triple my sales because I'm capable and more present to them instead of just trying to get my own agenda? You guys following this? So it's in your body, not your mind. Here's an equation I developed, and this was the missing piece. So if you want to write this down, the U represents the speed at which you attain your goal. So everybody got a goal? Who has a goal that you are focused on over the next 30 days? Anybody have a 30-day goal that you're working toward? Okay, it could be financial, it could be a health goal, it could be a relationship goal. So that speed in which you attain it is represented by the U. Got it? So what's the U represent? Speed at which you attain a goal. Everybody could set the same goal. Some are going to hit it sooner than others. Yes? Some are never going to hit it, right? So what is the formula to nail your goal as fast as humanly possible? What I learned was that the U, this is what everybody taught, was just the top of the equation. And the S represents skills. So it's, okay, I improve my skill set. I get better at what I do, whether that's sales or health or wealth. Then it amplifies by your work plus your focus. So yes, I got to work hard. How many work hard here? Yeah? Hard workers? Good. And how many would say that you're somewhat focused? Sometimes, right? As long as you're like, okay, getting somewhere, you have a focus. So that was taught. If you just work it hard, you improve your skill set, you will attain anything. But then I would put 100 amount of energy up there and effort and work only to get 0 results or 2 or 3. And I thought, why is this taught when something's missing? And what I found is underneath that equation, if you're putting 100 amount of effort out there, but you're only getting 10 out, it's like a car that is off balance. Think of driving a vehicle at 100 miles an hour, but it's out of alignment. What happens to that vehicle? Well, it's working against itself constantly. You're using more gas, you're wearing it out, you're burning it out. And even though you're going, it's causing all this friction that's wasting energy in the vehicle. Same thing happens to you. What's robbing you is actually called allergies and addictions, which is underneath the equation. Allergies and addictions. And not the allergies and addictions that you think. So it's not just a food allergy like, oh yeah, I'm allergic to a bee sting or food. Although, did you know you can have the same physiological response to an income goal as you could to a bee sting? Kind of crazy. You, right now, and throughout the rest of your life, are having physiological responses to ideas, to goals, to desires, to words, to thoughts, every single minute. And I'll prove it to you. In fact, I'd love, here in a moment, I'm going to have somebody who's a super non-believer and like, no, there's no way. And I'll show it to you. And I'll prove it to you. And then you're going to be like, what the heck just happened to me? Because it'll break through in minutes instead of years. It's all down to your physiology, your body, not just your mind. Making sense so far? If so, give me a yes. Okay. If not, give me a no. Some of you, it's okay not to understand, but all right. So it's in the body, not just the mind. All solutions start with a problem, and mine actually happened to be a gluten allergy. So my wife had a gluten allergy, and this is kind of how this all developed. She was struggling with a gluten allergy for years, and I started to study the body and how it could react to allergic responses. And I had learned some techniques to help people through, but every time I did it, it would only last for a few days or an hour, and then she'd relapse and have the same symptoms. And I got really obsessed with this because I like to solve problems. Who else is problem solvers in here? Yeah? I get obsessed with something, and then I just stick with it till I solve it. So I got really obsessed with this problem that my wife was dealing with. And I'm like, okay, there's got to be a way to help her with her gluten allergy. So I did all these techniques, And everything was kind of like the top of the equation. Well, with enough skills, enough repetition, if you just keep doing it, it'll work. But I felt like something was missing, a key component. And in the middle of the night, I'm a praying kind of guy, and so I was just had this prayer the night before, and in the middle of the night, I had a download. And I don't get dreams very often, but this was one of those. I think God was just like, Tyler, I've been trying to tell you for years, but here you go. And so I had this idea of exactly what was missing. And the thought was this. The thought was the only reason that my wife would suffer with a gluten allergy or any symptom is because some part of her at a cellular level, some part is pushing away the idea of gluten, what it represents, and holding on to the symptoms that it's causing. I was like, that's kind of weird. And then it expanded. It said, in fact, anything out there, financial, anything with relationships, anything that is not ideal that's happening is because some part of you at a cellular level, we're talking about cellular memory, just like you have muscle memory, you can have cellular memory that retains knowledge that fights or flights against your goals, against what you're working toward. And it was very interesting to me. I was like, well, that's weird. How do you change that? How would you get into a state where you could change your cellular memory? And the idea came combining about 10 different techniques that I'd went through to do it a specific way. So I was like, let's test this. Let's do it. So I did it on my wife the next day. It took about an hour and a half, went through the whole process. And after we were done, the first thing she said is, I want some toast. She literally just wanted to eat some bread. I was like, okay. She ate it that night, pizza. It's been over 6 years, no gluten allergy. So then I thought, well, what about with celiac people? People who are so severely reactive. Like, this is not just a little bit of an intolerance. So I took a lady who, she literally had to throw away her pan if bread contaminated it. And by the time we were done, she was shoving white bread down her mouth with no reactions. I was like, huh, this is interesting, fascinating. So we started with food allergies. And then I thought, well, if energy is everything and it's everywhere, then what about with money? Right? Well, money is just an idea. It's just a pattern in your body and a thought, and you can create it or not. And so I did it on myself, and it's very word specific. And I'm going to take you guys through it here in a second so you can experience it for yourself. And I did it on, I have clients reach out to me and pay in full for my services without me marketing to them, because that wasn't happening. So my theory was the only reason it's not happening is because some part of me is allergic to that idea and addicted to thinking I have to work hard and I earn everything. So I did the technique, and within 24 hours, I had 4 people reach out on weird platforms that turned into like $8,000 in sales. I was like, this is either a really awesome placebo, if so, keep it coming, like, placebo me more, or there's something to this. So then I tried it on a chiropractor. He was stuck at 30K, trying to get to 60K, and be stuck there for over 2 years. He'd been trying all the external things. So we did an alignment, and it was just one time. Within 2 weeks, he doubled his income. I was like, what? What is this? This is crazy. So then we continued. We did it on some relationship stuff, because I was just testing stuff. And we did it on relationships. Had a mom who had a daughter. She was 41 years old, but she felt like she was never appreciated. Any moms in the room that feel like you're underappreciated sometimes? Yeah, it happens. My wife's amazing. We have 4 kiddos. It's awesome life, but it's hard to be a mom. And so she felt super unappreciated. And I said, well, the only reason you feel unappreciated is what? According to my philosophy, some part of you's allergic to feeling appreciated and addicted to the opposite, which is feeling underappreciated and not good enough. So we aligned her, and 2 days later, her daughter, for the first time in her life, wrote her a full letter of gratitude. And she literally like burst into tears reading it to me. She's like, this is the most treasured thing. And she's made hundreds of thousands of dollars, but she's like, more than anything, this is the coolest thing I've had. And I thought, wow, this is cool. What about with things that people say can't be changed? What about stuff that they've tried everything on, right? Because if the philosophy works, it works. So I had this guy named Craig. He had a cardiac arrest. And he had tried everything. His wife was this master practitioner for 20 years, done all. And they tried all Western medicine and all of Eastern and everything. But my philosophy was what? Well, his symptoms were this. If he walked and looked left or right, he'd fall over. So his whole equilibrium was messed up. If he could only function about 4 hours a day, and it was because he had this stroke what did I say? Cardiac arrest, similar but different. So cardiac arrest, and it was because he was in such a stressed response, right? And he lost his whole business. He was a multi-six-figure earner. And I thought, well, the only reason you have these symptoms is why? Some part of you is addicted to these symptoms, and what? Allergic to what you want. It's like, how could it be this simple? Is change this easy? Like, it should be harder, right? So I did the session on him, did the alignment. It's called the cellular alignment technique. And I worked through this. And he called me back about 4 or 5 days later. And on the phone, he just burst into tears. He's like, I am functioning over 8 hours a day. Oh, he also had to wear sunglasses everywhere and earplugs. Sunglasses were gone, earplugs were gone, functioning over 8 hours a day. And he said, I got my life back. That's when I knew I had to teach this. So back then I was teaching how to speak on stage and how to sell high ticket for different coaches. And I thought, this needs to be shared with the world. So I'm here to teach you a new philosophy, a new way of thinking, and more importantly, a new way of being, which is change doesn't have to be slow. It can happen within minutes. Minutes. If AI can do it, why can't we? If AI can create so many things, are we not more intelligent, more powerful, and more capable than AI? So the only reason that we're not changing is we must not have the tool. We might not even think it's possible. But the moment we give ourselves the idea that it could happen, all of a sudden, now we can create change. Make sense? Okay, turn to somebody and say, that's making sense. Awesome. I want to give you an experience today. So what I'd like to do is I want to show you how this works. The best way to understand it is actually to experience it yourself. Because right now it's just like, this is interesting. Some of you already experienced a little bit of it, but I'm actually going to do this around money, because money is a super fun thing. How many like to make money by show of hand? Yes, some of you, most of you. How many would like to make more money by a show of hands? Sweet. And how many would like to make more money without the burnout, without the frustration, without sacrificing things that you love? Okay. But how many have some resistance around that? Like it feels like it's going to be hard. You've got to go through the grind. Yeah, thanks for being honest. Okay. What I'm going to ask for is a volunteer who would like to experience a change within minutes. You have to be kind of vulnerable. It's going to be a little bit like, some confronting things, but I promise you at the end, it'll be freaking awesome. Okay, so think about this. You have to have resistance around making money. The more resistance, the better. It's like resistance around growing, and you've had some failures. So I'm going to pick somebody here in a moment. So just raise your hand if you would like. Okay. All right. We're going to go with you. Come on up. Give her a huge round of applause. All right, come on over this. Is there stairs over here? All right. Here, I'll help you. Here you go. Got it?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So we're going to do a little process. And I'm going to use what's called clinical kinesiology or muscle testing to show you the physiological responses, okay? And her body knows. Her body knows it's already got the allergies and addictions. So just being up here, she's already having reactions. And it's okay, because we're going to move through them very quickly, right? Cool? As I'm going to take her through this process, I want you to know that you can do this on yourself. So I'm going to do it on her to show you. And then if we have time, I'll show you how to do it on yourself so you can do it at home, anywhere, okay? This process, this is a variation of the full process. The full process can take anywhere from an hour or more. What I'm going to do is about a 3 to 5 minute process that, because I'm really good at this, it'll work just as good as the full process. Cool? All right. So with money, and what's your name, by the way?
Brindy. Cone.
Brindy? Okay. Everybody say, hey, Brindy. Hey, Brindy. Okay. So, Brindy, tell me a little bit about what you want to accomplish financially. Where are you wanting to go?
I want to be able to charge the fair price and
So charge a fair price.
And then be inspired to give the people what I was able to charge them.
Beautiful. So fulfill on that price.
Yeah, keep the promise of the price.
Okay, good. And then what's the resistance there? What comes up when you think about that?
So my resistance is that my husband doesn't want me to be the breadwinner.
Okay.
Okay, that's huge betrayal.
Yeah.
And
So not feeling supported, not feeling.
No, he's motivated by being the breadwinner.
Gotcha.
He doesn't want me to take that role.
Okay.
A. B. He teaches in a school where part of how they pay is they make sure you take government monies.
Oh, yeah.
So everything I earn is like 80 cents back to the government. So there's like no pleasure. And if I put it in a corporation, that's legal, but I cannot use the money.
Okay.
So I could pay taxes and make business expenses and have money there, but it's useless.
Okay. And how much is your goal over the next 30 days that you'd like to hit that would feel really fulfilling to you?
So here's the thing, and here's part of my resistance.
Yeah.
I'm going to just explain it.
Yeah.
To replace what I get from the government, I would need about $720,000.
Okay.
I don't know how to cross that, and I don't know how to stay where I am. And staying where I am means I cannot earn. So I'm actually very stuck.
Okay. Okay. So feel that resistance.
I'm very stuck. I have
Good.
no solution whatsoever.
And first off,
and money doesn't have any pleasure for me.
Yeah.
Because it's useless to me.
okay, good.
But I know money has value to other people, and I want to have that too.
Perfect. Okay, so first off, give her a hand for being vulnerable up here in front of everybody. And secondly, we're going to shift this, okay? So go ahead and hold out your arm. Okay, and is it okay if I touch you and do some things?
Yeah,
okay,
because
so
this is kinesiology.
okay, perfect. So hold, don't let me push. Hold strong, hold. Good. Okay, so I'm going to push the same amount every time, okay? Hold strong, hold. So just like that, okay? Hold. Good. Now, I want you, and I'm going to show you the power of just the body and the mind right now. So here's just a couple $100. So look at this. Hold strong. Hold, hold, hold.
I cannot hold. I cannot
so
hold.
Watch. Hold strong. Hold, hold, hold. The moment I'm pushing the same amount, hold strong. Hold, 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 hold.
I cannot.
What's happening? In the moment, fight, flight responses are happening right now. So if she's trying to make a deal, if she's visioning, trying to think of something, she could put in the hard work. She could put in the grind. She could do all the stuff on the top of the equation, putting in 110 plus energy, but get nothing out because her body's fighting herself.
Can I enhance what you said?
Yeah.
I want to say that there was one time that I worked to open a company, a multi-million-dollar company. I trained the manager. I worked 7 months, about 12 hours a day, and the work was stolen. Just the allergy of the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I would say like the value of $600,000
yeah.
was the kind of work I did and the value I brought, and all of it was stolen. And I couldn't even cry about it because I was actually so allergic to getting that money, and I was so stuck by it that I actually was only sad about my allergies.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, you ready to change it?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's shift it. So here, I'm going to do what's called the cellular alignment technique. Now, this is a breath work with just some breathing. It's weird. It looks like you just breathe, pant, smile, and you're done. And it's so hard. Like change is the hardest thing on the planet, right? So watch this. All right, so look at this, okay? In fact, hold this. Okay, think about money. Think about the trigger. Is it okay if I tap different areas? So think about that trigger. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. So in through the nose, yep, out through the mouth. Good. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You do this 3 times in a row. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're going to pant like a dog. 3 times. I know, change is tough, right? Change is so hard. And smile. Good. Now watch this. Hold strong. Hold. Hold. Okay. Look at money. Hold. Hold.
Can't push me down.
Change is so hard, guys. Like years to change, right? No. Change can happen fast.
I look at the money, I feel better.
What the heck? So watch this. Now we're going to check. watch this. Hold strong. Hold. So that's just her looking at it. But her whole body could have different responses. So hold strong. Hold. Okay. Hold, hold, hold. Good. Hold. Brain. Hold, 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 hold. Different organs have different responses, different memory, different things. So weak there. Breathe in. And we don't even know why. We don't care who. We don't care what said what or trauma. We just change it. Align it. Get the result. In. Out. In. Out. Does that 3? In. Out. And pant. Now, why? You might be asking, why does this work? Well, I'll tell you here in a second. So hold strong. Hold, 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 hold. Boom. Okay. So then hold. Okay. Let's try. Hold. Good. Adrenals. Hold, hold, hold. All of a sudden, different response. Every single organ and part of her body will have a different response towards goals, towards quantities of money, towards thoughts and ideas. And none of us really are conscious of this. It's just happening all the time. Why do you think there's so much adrenal fatigue happening, exhaustion, thyroid crap going on? People blame it on all the chemicals in food, but I believe that it's because we're in constant fight-flights all the time based on where we're trying to do on the planet. And if we're fighting ourselves just like that car that's out of alignment, you're going to burn out. You're not going to be as fully capable as possible. So part of my mission is to teach, number one, get aware of this. Like, it's a thing. Not, doesn't matter. It's real. And the second thing is learn how to shift it. Get intelligent enough to shift so that you don't have to struggle for more than 24 hours. Is that cool? Everybody down for not suffering for more than 24 hours? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to think about money now. And think about this. So hold strong. Hold strong. Because a big thing she said was what? Loss, right? She had that big loss. So I want you to think about that big investment, putting all that time and energy, and then just losing it. Hold strong. Hold, hold, hold. Super weak. Big emotional response around that. So where do you feel that in your body when you think of just losing it?
Here.
Yeah, so watch this. So then think about that. Bring it up. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose. Wow, this is hard, guys. Change is tough. And pant. And smile. Good.
I'm still a little sad.
Yeah, tune into that.
A little sad.
Yeah, it's bringing stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So tune into that sadness. Where do you feel that?
I think up here.
Yeah, good. Just say, I'm sad.
I'm sad.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
I'm worthy to create more wealth.
I'm worthy to create more wealth.
And I can if I want.
And I can if I want.
Or not.
Or not.
Either way, it's my choice.
Either way, it's my choice.
Good. Breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Pant. And smile.
Yeah, feels better.
Give her a huge round of applause. Yeah. So, what are you noticing? I see it. I don't know if, do you guys?
The light sparkling money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see money everywhere.
And just look, like, think about money. Think about receiving it.
Oh, that's nice.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, if you noticed when she got up here and even the thought, even looking at her, you could see it in her face, right? Your body is the key. That's the missing piece. It's not your mind. It's your body. Give her a huge round of applause. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
you.
Here's some stairs over here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So with that, are we over time? Okay. All right. Remember that the trigger is the transformation. All self-sabotage is a mirror showing you what needs to shift in order to become who you need to be to fulfill your mission and vision. Best thing you could learn. Any form of a trigger or resistance is the way if you embrace it and shift it. For her, she's got a vision. That trigger was keeping it from her. But now it's going to paint the path. So remember that. If you'd like to connect with me, I'll be at my booth. Also, if you'd like to join me, I'm going to do a free training on this live because we didn't have time to do it here, but I'll show you how to do it on yourself, okay? So you can grab that, opt in, and we'll do it on Monday. It'll be recorded if you can't make it. So feel free to join. Thank you guys for joining me. Was that good? Did you learn something? Everybody learn something? Good. So remember, the trigger is the transformation, resistance is the way. Don't be a victim. Change can happen in minutes instead of years. With that, be unstoppable.